while people on the internet arguing about who are descendants of the slaves, who had it worse on the slave plantation, the titles, and all this craziness, jumping on bandwagons and not actually doing the research, right? There's a young man who just lost his life up there in Washington, D.C. He was in the car sleeping, and the police came knocking on his window. He jumped up, he looked, and he saw the police. They had guns pointed at him, and they killed this man. But people on the internet arguing about slave plantation, who was a descendant of who, when if you really study history, you go way back, you will realize that you come from the Central West Africans. Right? So all you FBA and ADOS people, get off your high horse. You ain't winning. For all you Caribbean people that's arguing about this, get off your high horse. You ain't winning. For the people in Central West Africa, get off the high horse. You ain't winning either. And I want to say something. I want to address this. For those in Central West Africa, right, that sit up here clowning the African in the diaspora, guess what? It's just like you disrespecting your own ancestors. It's just like you disrespecting your own ancestors. Okay? Because those are your descendants. While you worrying about tribes and all of that, right? Well, guess what? Those tribes that you represent, they were brought over here in this country to work for free. Okay? And so many y'all going through so many tribal wars up there and deal with colonialism. It ain't funny. But you're dissing the black people here in America. Stop it. Those are your descendants. You might as well be talking about your own ancestors. You might as well be talking about your own tribe. Okay? We are creolized African people. We are multi-ethnic group. All right? So all those ethnic tribes that came up out of Central West Africa made us who we are today in the diaspora. And for my Caribbean peoples, I got a lot of love for y'all. But y'all got to get off your high horse too. Okay, because a lot of y'all dealing with so many crises over there in the islands right now as we speak. Alright? If you really study history, yes, the Caribbeans have made a lot of influence here in America. The Caribbean culture has played a lot of influence in the so-called Black American culture, which I hate using that term so loosely. So I'm just going to say the African American culture. Yes. Because when we look at the history of Haiti and Louisiana, we see a correlation. When we look at the history of the Barbados and South Carolina, there is a correlation. When you look at the Bahamas, right, and those in Miami, Florida, right, there's a correlation. And I can go on and on about this. Okay? So let's get off our high horse about that. And to you black folks here in America, first and foremost, a lot of us are going through identity crisis. We sitting up here jumping on bandwagons. Well, not me personally, but there's people that's jumping on bandwagons talking about some FBA ADOS. There's too many identity crises. You fall along with people who are so doggone ignorant, they don't even know they ass to the front of their damn private part. Okay? You following motherfuckers who don't really study history as thorough as they should. They can't even give you the accurate information, right? All they using is confirmation bias to goddamn support their agenda. And then you got one person, Tyreek, is creating a lot of diaspora wars, trying to create a division. But he's so stupid, he don't realize that he's causing a serious detriment not only to his own people, but to himself. And the people that go along with it, y'all don't question nothing. Y'all just jumping on this bandwagon. It's getting sickening. This shit's lame as fuck. It's getting tired. Don't you get tired of arguing about the same old shit? Again, There's a situation going on in Washington, D.C. right now where a young man just lost his life at a parking lot because he was sleeping inside his goddamn car. And he was getting ready to put his hand up, then the police fired at him multiple times. But y'all want to argue about who had it worse on the slave plantation. Get a damn grip. Y'all want to argue about the descendant of slaves. Get a damn grip. If you really study, you will realize that all y'all are descendants of slaves. Hello? If you're in Central West Africa, depending on what tribe you came from, right? You have ancestors that are descendants of slaves here. Okay? If you're from the Caribbean, you are a descendant of slaves. If you're in parts of South America, you are a descendant of slaves. If you're in Latin America, you are descendants of slaves. If you're in anywhere if you're black and you're anywhere else like Canada, Britain, you're a descendant of slaves. If you are here in America, right, you are a descendant of slaves. Those who are African slaves, those who was brought here from the Caribbeans by the way of Africa, and those who came directly from Africa. So with that being said, I want y'all to ponder on this and have a productive day. And please don't come in my comment section with no stupid shit, because I'm going to clap back at you. Don't do it.